Welcome to Hood Champ. Oh, damn microphone's over here. Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Is Martin Bakole from the Ivory Coast. Is he the sparring champion or is he the real deal? Because the word on the street, when it comes to sparring, he has destroyed every top heavyweight. And he's destroyed every contender. Not just him saying it. A lot of the fighters themselves have said it. But I've talked about that already in the video. But what I want to talk about is just how far can Martin Bakole go? Because we know he passes the eye test. But is he kind of like a Jerome Boots Ennis, where he passes the eye test, but he hasn't fought any truly stiff competition? And when you look at Martin Bakole, same way we ask those questions about Jerome Ennis, you got to ask that about Bakole. Because if you listen to most people who talk about him, you'd swear Martin Bakole was the undisputed heavyweight champion of the heavyweight division. But you got to understand why they say that. Because Martin Bakole has been out there in sparring, destroying all of the champions. Fury, Usyk, Joshua, Hrgovic, Dubois, Gerald Big Baby Miller. He's destroyed everybody. And when you hear the fighters talk about him, they say the same thing. But if that's the case, how come Bakole is getting ready to fight F.A. Ajagba? And why isn't he getting other opportunities? Well, pretty simple. He's being put in position to get a fight for a strap. Now, let me see if I can pull this up. Okay. Now, in case you didn't know, Martin Bakole and F.A. Ajagba, the deal is done. They're supposed to be fighting. Not in the Riyadh season card coming up for Bivol and Bertabiev. They were supposed to be on that card, but it got moved to the next Riyadh season event. So the subsequent one, they're going to be on it. Date to be determined. But the reason why it's Bakole fighting Ajagba is because the winner is an eliminator for Dubois' IBF strap. So what's going to happen is Dubois and Parker will fight. If Dubois beats Parker, right, or the winner of that fight is going to face the winner of Ajagba and Bakole. Now, I have a feeling Dubois is going to win, but nonetheless, we just have to wait and see. Now, there were some people asking the question, why is Bakole, who's ranked number 3 by the IBF, the 1 and 2 spot is vacant, and Ajagba, who's ranked number 5, why is it number 4 Frank Sanchez fighting Bakole? Well, that's because Frank Sanchez lost to Ajagba, and I don't know what's going on with Frank Sanchez, if he's injured or what. Bottom line is, Ajagba and Bakole, it makes for a great fight. 2 African fighters, and it seems like they may, I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off, but they're trying to put on a Riyadh season event in Africa. And if so, outside of Francis Ngannou, who better than to put on Ajagba, who's Nigerian, and Martin Bakole from the Ivory Coast to fight in Africa? Yeah, you could take AJ, he's of Nigerian heritage. Chisora, who's originally from, I think, Zimbabwe. But the bottom line is, that's how it's come about, and that's why Frank Sanchez isn't getting the opportunity. But my thing is, Ajagba already clipped Jared Anderson. We already knew that Jared Anderson is a good fighter, but you could tell there's something missing. So the fact that Bakole destroyed him, some people were shocked. I wasn't, but it's how he destroyed him that shocked me. You know, I thought he'd win and knock him out, but he must have some damn, iron in his hands. The way he was sitting there and just, detonating them Ivory Coast bombs, bing bings on Jared Anderson. But now it's like he's about to fight Ajagba. Ajagba hasn't fought in a while. These are almost like what happened with Anderson looked reminiscent of what I hear happens in sparring when Bakole fights, when he spars people. And I think Ajagba is just going to be another sparring session for Bakole. Now, for anyone out there saying, "Now, hood champion, you got it wrong. You're not being fair to Bakole," I gotta tell you to hold your horses. Now, for anyone else out there who's saying, "Now, Bakole is the real deal," I'm not disagreeing with your opinion on that, but I would like to point this out right here. Okay, Martin Bakole, 21 wins, 16 knockouts. He has a loss. That loss was by KO. Okay, he's 6'6", 76% KO ratio. It's not on here, but he has an 81-inch reach. But this is why I say, something's up with Bakole. Let's go down to where he got that loss. Now, if you look here, he has a TKO on his record, right? In the 10th round, he got stopped. Okay, he lost in October 2018 to Michael Hunter. Now, that was in 2018. We're in 2025, so about 6 years and some change ago. But why hasn't he rematched Hunter? But what I will say is, since then, he went on and he fought Watts, he fought Pereira, he fought Kevin Johnson, who's a good fighter when he was active. He fought Hernandez, Kuzman, he fought Osumanu, Yoka, Shevadzutsky, Takam, and then he just clipped Anderson. Now, I don't know if any of those guys are better than Michael Hunter, but I would like to see him, if he's going to fight guys like Ajagba, why not fight Hunter and get him out the way and get your revenge, and then go on now and fight somebody. But the bottom line is, him fighting Ajagba, I think it's a good step in the right direction, because Ajagba only has one loss too. But that's not really the fight that I would have liked to see a guy like Bakole scrap with. But it looks like we are going to get that opportunity if he beats Ajagba. And again, this isn't all about the sprint. Sometimes, man, you got to be the tortoise and not the hare. And Ajagba, when he's in the ring, he kind of moves like the tortoise anyway. But he's a damn African George Foreman. So we'll see what direction things go with him after Ajagba. But my understanding from listening to some promoters, he's taking these fights where he's looking like a sparring champion in officially sanctioned bouts, because the guys he's fighting, they don't stand a chance. It's because most of the champions, or most of the guys who, like the Tyson Furies, the AJs, and they're avoiding him. Fighters don't want anything to do with him. Dubois, Parker, none of them. Usyk, they say none of them want anything to do with him, because they spent time in the ring already sparring. Now, if there's any truth to that, maybe he got to take what he can get. But what I will say is, the dates to be determined. It's happening in 2025. And they're going to be scrapping whoever wins between Bakole and Ajagba. I think Bakole beats him. Then they'll go on to fight the winner of Dubois and Parker. But this top rank, I'm concerned for Bakole, because Bakole already clipped Anderson, who's with top rank. Now Bakole's about to fight Ajagba, who's with top rank. I'm not so sure Bob Arum is going to allow another one of his heavyweight prospects. And Ajagba been fighting for a while now, but he's still kind of prospect level. After the Frank Sanchez fight, they really changed up their approach to his matchmaking. But I will tell you this. I don't trust Bob Arum. I don't trust Carl Moretti of Top Rank. I just have a feeling that they don't want to lose another fight. And Bakole has to be careful, because if for some reason he can't get to Ajagba and he can't, put the bing-bings on him, I think Bakole will lose. But at the same time, I watch Ajagba fight. He's not the same fighter he was when he first turned pro. They have him out here trying to box and be cute in the ring and do shit that he can only get away with guys that are smaller than him. He can't get away with that shit against a guy who just as tall as him with the same reach and probably just equal or more power. Bakole will probably knock that dude out in 2 rounds, is what I'm thinking. But if for some reason Ajagba under Ronnie Shields has just, exponentially gotten better overnight, coming off of being inactive, and Bakole could have himself in a fight that he may never get an opportunity to face a guy like Usyk or somebody for a belt. but I just don't see it. I think Bakole knocks him out in 2 rounds. It is what it is. So he's one of the young bulls making a name for himself. But again, I just have a feeling when it comes to Barber, I'm calm already. When it comes to Top Rank, I just have a feeling that they don't want any of their prospects to lose again. Bakole better be careful what he's getting himself into. Is he just a sparring champion? Or is he the real deal? I think he's the real deal, but I'm gonna tell you, he may not get the opportunity if these guys keep ducking him, and he may end up just continuing to fight FA Ajagba type fighters. But in order for him to get the big fights with the big names, it looks like Turki Al-Sheik's going to have to put some big money up, because maybe fighters are ducking him. But hey, again, he passes the eye test. Let's see what happens when the real deal starts, because if Bakole, which I think he knocks out Ajagba in 2 rounds. So let's just say when he knocks him out, if Dubois beats Parker and Bakole gets in there and knocks out Dubois, or even if Parker beats, it doesn't matter who he fights. If he fights Dubois or Parker, if he gets in there and walks through them, we got something to worry about in the heavyweight division. If he walks through them, and man, oh man, I don't think Usyk will fight him. Usyk, you gotta be fair to Usyk. Usyk come off of some tough fights with AJ, tough fight with Chisora. Since he's turned heavyweight, he hasn't really had it easy. He's been in tough fight after tough fight. But those fights with AJ and Fury, I think it took something out of Usyk. And he's getting older. And, he's wife and kids, and, he's a spiritual guy. But I just think Usyk would rather retire than try to go and become 2-time heavyweight undisputed champion, having to face a guy like Bakole. Because if you look at it, Turki Al-Sheik, we all know he's known for throwing a curveball now. Turki Al-Sheik, he may have plans for the winner of Bakole or Ajagba to face the winner of Dubois and Parker. But we know his plans may change tomorrow. He may say, F that. Dubois beat Parker, now we're going to make Dubois against Usyk. That could be what he does. But we don't know. But as of right now, we'll see what happens. Excuse me. We'll see what happens with old Bakole. Because the way it's looking, even in his professional fights, he's just looking like a sparring champion, because he can't get the big names in the ring. But hopefully in 2025, we can see what he's really about. One thing for sure, Deontay Wilder, do not take the bait. If Turki Al-Sheik offer you $20 million, I understand $20 million. $20 million is a lot of dough. But Jesus, don't get in there messing with no damn Bakole. I just think Wilder don't let them. The Parker fight was a fair fight for Wilder. But that damn Zhang fight, they set him up. They teed him up and let Zhang get off on him. And Bakole he ain't nothing but a Ivory Coast Zhali Zhang. He just the African version of the Chinese Zhang. Leave him alone. Don't let them do that to you, Wilder. Anyway, y'all keep cool. The fight will be good as long as it lasts. I got Bakole winning in 2 rounds, but hey, against who, right? Sparring champion, or is he the real deal? That's the question. In the breeze.